Welcome to the Nerd Cave News. I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, the one that is prepared, the one that is ready, and I'm joined along with the man that is deep in the ancient Parisian caves, lives a great genie of old. He will grant you wishes, but beware, he can sniff out wish abusers, and he will take your nose. It's Aziz, the snooty genie.
Interesting. It kind of didn't stick the landing, but you know, it did. Didn't we? And didn't we have one similar like maybe a month or so ago? That was like also like another genie. So I mean, I felt like we did, but it's not bad.
I don't know.
Not best work, but you know, they can't all be winners.
You want to tell Amy
okay.
that? You want to tell Amy that?
Look, Amy knows most of her stuff is banging, so but everyone can't be perfect. I mean, Tom Brady lost Super Bowls. He's not perfect. But he won more than he lost. That's the important part.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's a critic. Exactly. This episode is brought to you by our wonderful patrons. You can become part of the ship, part of the exclusive crew by going over to patreon.com/nerdcave, just like our wonderful crew members, the first mate, Brandon Hicks, our helmsman, the conductor, our gunners, Richard Newell, Daniel Sanford, Rushing Waters Yoga, Marilyn James, Brittany, the Granny B. Harrison, and our deckhand, Martin Sager. This is the Nerd Cave News, where each and every week we run to you through all the video game news that you need to know. You can watch us live over on twitch.tv/nerdcavenetwork, or you can catch the show later over on youtube.com/nerdcavenetwork. Make sure to hit the follow and subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. I like it, so more people will see the video. The podcast version is available on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and Anchor. Go subscribe and listen to it each week. While you're there, leave us a 5-star rating.
Nothing more, nothing less.
If you will.
Would you kindly?
Yeah, would you kindly? Derek keeps moving. I got to keep moving him. Like, see, there he goes. It keeps shifting again. I got to move him again. Guys, I'm sorry for everybody that's watching. Derek's on it tonight.
Not influenced by any, co-host or anything, but
Guys, we're in the month of May. May is almost done, and we just started the May Game Club in my books. We're playing Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This game is great. This game is a lot of fun. Derek, I got a few questions for you. How far have you gotten into the story? Like, where you at on episodes?
I'm still on episode 1, my guy.
That's all you played?
Yeah, I'm almost done with it, but yeah.
Okay. I just finished.
I'm thinking about playing at least an episode of each trilogy. Play 4, then play 7, just so I can get the full range of it. But yeah.
So you're not even going to try to play all of it?
I mean, okay. I'm going to just throw this out here, and you can disagree with me. We know the story. We've watched the movies. We know what happens. It's nothing new. It's not like Horizon where we don't know what's going to happen next. We know what's happening next. This is more of just like an updated gameplay experience for the Lego series. So how about this? It's more about the gameplay, which like I said last week, has much to be desired. I'm getting used to the gameplay loop, figuring things out, finding things that they don't really tell you. You have to figure it out for yourself, but it's still much to be desired.
Yeah. I agree. There's some good new things that have been added, but there's so much stuff that has been added and they don't tell you diddly about.
Right, exactly.
Which is my biggest thing. It will be this weird juxtaposition of there's these really deep systems, but this game is still made for kids, and some of it is super easy where it's just come on.
Yep.
And it's this weird thing.
Specifically the scavenger class, because there's a bunch of areas in episode 1 where it's requires a scavenger type character, right? And I'm like, well, how do I get up there? I can do pretty much everything else with every other type of character class. Okay, why is this one? and I looked it up, and it's like, oh, well, you need to play like one of the I think it's either five, six, or
7.
seven. One of those ones is like, and then you can unlock the. I'm like, why? Why don't you tell me this? Why
Yeah.
do I have to figure this out? Like what? Or why isn't it just available from the beginning? Like why does it matter? I have to start with episode 7. Like
Yeah, you
whatever.
got to get like Ray to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm pretty sure a Jedi could get up there. Pretty
Yeah.
sure somebody with a jetpack could get up
Yeah.
there. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. So, what is your favorite type of character that you like to play as?
Probably. Oh, first off, by the way, because I beat the Darth Maul boss fight. His
Mhm.
character's 200,000 studs. I'm like, that's
Holy
egregious.
moly, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like
That's
I'm like
crazy.
arguably one of the best characters in that trilogy is expensive. I'm like, no. This is not a little too pricey for my blood, but
Yeah.
probably I would have to say, like one of my favorite characters to use would probably be, oh, what is it? Probably a Sith, even though the only one I have unlocked, Darth Vader, moves a little too slow. But I
Yeah.
like, just that imposing power and the upgrade tree. If you look at it, it's like, oh, you can make people run away from you easier by just imposing your will. I'm like, interesting. So I can clear out
Hmm.
firefights a lot faster if I upgrade this. Good to know.
That's pretty cool. I've not gotten a Sith yet because I've just been playing the prequels. I'm almost done with episode 2 so far.
Well, you should have. Wait, did you download the one I bought? Because
Yeah.
I got the.
Yeah.
I got the one with the season pass.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, because I know classic Darth Vader comes in one of the packs.
I don't know. I hadn't checked it. I haven't done any free play. I've just been playing
Okay.
through it regularly.
Got you.
The upgrade system is kind of bleh, you know what I mean? And again, it doesn't tell you what
Yeah.
it is. Like the general upgrades are great,
Yeah.
but I will let you know this. If you give the upgrade that's like, like you can detect like mini kits or like the kyber crystals or whatever,
Yeah.
you're gonna have like weird circles like on your map, and it doesn't tell you
Yeah.
what that is. That's what it is. It's the detector, and it's like, why is this circle? Like, why is it here?
Right.
So I'm just letting you know.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I'm just letting you
Tell
know.
me your ways.
Yeah. So it's a little strange. It's a little strange, but it is what it is on that end of things. But with that, Derek, I know you said it was like, we've already played this. We've already, we already know the story and everything.
Mhm.
But for me, okay, Derek, for me,
Mhm.
the game is more than just like the regular story and everything.
Yeah.
It's the slapstick humor that comes along with it.
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to present all of this? I don't know. Listen to Kind of Funny, and we're getting way too much into the Game Club game, but they were talking about like how like the prequels and the sequel and the original have a lot of that, like kind of tongue in cheek, like
Yeah.
about the actual story and all of that kind of stuff. But then 7, 8, 9 has way less of that. Like they took it more seriously. So
Interesting.
I haven't played it yet, any of those yet, but I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah.
So that is our Mega Game Club, guys. Come and join us on that journey. We're going to be playing it here on the stream and having a ton of fun hanging out and playing that game and everything. I have to catch myself like trying to collect every stud that I see. You know what I mean? That's just like built into my mental capacity.
It's the
like,
klepto in you.
Yeah, it's like I got to get True Jedi all the time, and it's like, no, there's only True Jedi like 3 times out of a whole episode, and it's like,
Right.
This is weird.
It is.
Weird, guys. I've fallen hard for Star Wars. I got a lot of Star Wars books, but a game that I enjoyed originally, but kind of fell out of love was Fall Guys. And we got some Fall Guys news. Fall Guys is going fully free to play alongside the Xbox and Switch releases.
So Fall Guys is going fully free to play when it launches on Xbox, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Epic Game Store on June 21st. Only a month away, guys. and players who already own the game on PS4 and Steam will be awarded with a legacy pack that includes unique cosmetics, plus Fall Guys' first paid-for battle pass, branded as the season pass, that will be available alongside the current and free battle pass. Developer Mediatonic is also essentially resetting Fall Guys' seasons, as June 21st also marks the beginning of Season 1 free-for-all, likely because the game will be fully cross-play and cross-progression between platforms. All Fall Guys players will therefore be able to compete against each other and can log in and continue their progress, regardless of whether they're playing on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X or S, Switch, and PC. A new currency called Showbucks can be used to purchase the season pass, but Mediatonic hasn't said how much it will cost or how Showbucks will compare to the current Kudos currency, which will remain in the game. The new Season 1 free-for-all update also promises the most jam-packed and blunderful season yet, with new challenges, rewards, and more.
All right. Like, I know we got another part of this as well. But my first question, before we get in that next part, do you think it being released on more consoles and going free to play will get people to come back? And B kind of touches on this in the comments. Well, they have to go free to play. They waited 8 years to release on all platforms. Like,
Has it
I
been
think
out that long?
no, it's like she's making a
Oh,
joke.
yeah.
Because it came out 2020.
In 2019 at the earliest, I thought.
Let's look. Fall Guys release date. August 4th, 2020.
Okay. So 2
Yep.
years. But still, it took them a while to go free to play. But I
Mhm.
mean, it's following the Rocket League path, right? Where it also started on free as PS Plus,
Yeah.
then gained a following, got big, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, let's go free to play model and do the battle pass." So I think, I mean, Rocket League has only gone up since they made that move. Now, granted, it came out on all. Well, no, it was. Did it come out on all platforms first, or was it just PlayStation
It was
exclusive?
just PlayStation because it was a PS Plus game.
Right. So
Mhm.
it kind of did the similar thing, and it paid dividends for them. So I can't see why Fall Guys wouldn't either. But then again, yeah, Fall Guys, Brandon. Um, I wouldn't like, I can see it gaining a second wind at the same time. Now we're fighting for space in the free to play, like
Mhm.
smaller games, like twitchable games. Like, I think it'll definitely get the Twitch numbers back up for sure. At the same time, will it sustain it? Will, like Rocket League has?
Yeah, well, Rocket League didn't suffer from what Fall Guys did. Fall Guys like came out, it was super hot, and then it fell off. Rocket League
Yeah,
has stayed relevant since it came out.
that's
Fall
true.
Guys, on the other hand, like had Among Us come up and stab it in the back, like Among Us does and everything. There you go. And they didn't iterate fast enough. They didn't, get it out on more
Yeah.
consoles. Like they were really slow about it.
It was like
You know,
Avengers, really late to the party on some stuff.
exactly. And like Fall Guys, it's a lot of fun. It's like colorful, like it's the perfect you know, eye candy kind of game, and like
Yeah.
anyone can play it because the controls are super simple. It's difficult, but it is super simple. It just was not on enough places like to have that kind of thing that Rocket League continued
Yeah.
iterating itself and everything, and now getting a new kind of season pass and everything um is going to be what it is or whatever. But do you think rewarding the OG players, the people who've been playing it on PC and PlayStation for a while, do you think rewarding them and giving them stuff is going to get them to come back to the game?
I mean, getting them to come back initially when it goes free to play, yes, but how long? The bigger question is, how long will it get them to stay? Like,
Yeah.
will it, like, giving a free, like, because a lot of people come for the free things, and then once they're not getting any free things anymore, they leave. So will that just be like, will it be like a new restaurant opening where it's like, oh, today only you get half off the menu, and it's like, okay, but what if I come the next time? You have to pay full price. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's like campus ministries. It's like, oh, we have free food, and then you go, and then it's like after you eat, you're just like, all right, I'm about to slip out before they start saying anything.
That's a good point too.
You know
So
what I mean?
thanks for the food. See y'all later.
Yeah, pretty much. So and we also see like the curse transactions are going to ramp up in this,
Your favorite thing, right?
Oh yeah. Like, is this inevitable to see when a game goes free to play? Do you think microtransactions are just going to be shoved down every free to play game's throat?
Well, I mean, that's why there's the term has been coined freemium because nothing's ever free.
Hmm.
Um, and I think going forward, because as long as developers see other developers making money hand over fist, aka Fortnite, aka Apex Legends, like as long as they keep seeing studios make return with like doing it, they'll do it too. Whether they'll be just as successful or not, it doesn't matter. It's the fact of, hey, we should at least try this because do or do not, there is no try.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's move on to the other part of the story. Fall Guys is working on its own version of Level Creator.
The very end of today's Fall Guys free for all stream, we got a very early look at the new level creator. Similar to Nintendo's Super Mario Maker and other level creation tools, the mode lets players create their own obstacle courses from scratch. The tool gives creators a catalog of common Fall Guys objects like swinging axes, conveyor belts, and fruit shooting cannons, and letting players place them anywhere on the map. As long as you don't exceed the weight limit, it seems you can mix and match objects to create anything that comes to mind. The customization appears to be fairly in-depth, as an options menu popped up lets you choose a variety of settings like item size, rotation speed, and direction, and more. And also, like Super Mario Maker, after you finish building the level, you have to prove it can be completed before you can publish it, which suggests we'll see online content sharing where you'll hopefully be able to try out levels other people built and see how many people test out your own levels. There's no timetable for when this level creator mode will actually join Fall Guys. In the meantime, Mediatonic said just to be clear, this mode is still a fair way from release.
All right. B said that actually sounds kind of cool. I think this is something that is needed for Fall Guys. Okay.
Yeah.
When you're playing a season, they do introduce new maps. They're really good about doing that every time, and their seasons are pretty short. Like, they're not like Halo, where my lord, it just
Yeah.
goes on forever. Like, their
Yeah.
seasons are pretty short and they come up with new ideas, new themes, and all of this. Having a level creator is a good thing if the people are there and are,
Yeah.
making them. So I got essentially two questions here for you, Derek.
Yeah.
Having the creator to prove that the level is beatable is a great addition to the level creator.
Yep.
Do you think that is going to solve the issue of having crazy levels? Because you look at Mario Maker and there are
Yeah.
some insane levels in there.
Right.
Do you think
That
we're
are
going to
like,
see?
how did you complete this? Please tell me.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to see that kind of stuff with Fall Guys?
Oh yeah, especially from the get go. You know, people are going to stretch their creative muscle and just go hog wild with it. And Fall Guys, like Mediatonic, is going to use that to push them. Like, hey, look at this insane level, and it's like, can you beat this? Or like, oh look, they're the first one to complete it, and everyone's like, how did they do it? What?
Mhm.
So I think it'll definitely be. I think the issue with like Mario Maker took off. Mario Maker 2 was there, and then it kind of fell off because
Yeah.
it's like, all right, it's the same thing just with different levels and different like level types. Fall Guys, since it's new and it's like, because it's essentially a battle royale type of thing with Fall Guys, so it's a different type of game.
Yeah.
I think they'll push that, but the thing will be like, all right, are you going to push it for a month and then just like let people just play with it and never talk about it again? And because then you'll run into the thing of like, oh, we're not talking about it. People must think we're not doing it anymore. It was like a limited time mode, and now no one's playing it. Let's scrap it.
Yeah. And that moves me to this next point that I wanted to make. Are level makers something that excites enough of the fan base? Because if you look at it, Gears of War and Doom removed their level makers because there were not enough
Yeah.
people using it and it was taking
Yeah.
up resources. So what do you think, Darren?
And that's something like Doom more than Gears. That's what people prided on. Like Gears was a Johnny come lately with it. Doom kind of had it for a while, and that was not its bread and butter, but a lot of people were excited, especially when they brought it back for the 2016 edition. I think it's something, that, again, just something to try, just to see if it brings numbers up for their games, right? But I
Mhm.
think, and again, since it's a battle royale, not a lot of battle. I don't want to say it's the first one, but it's not something battle royales do a lot of. Is something like a level creator. I think this would be, and again, we don't know when it's coming. I think it would be something like that because it's more niche and because it's like you're trying, like if Fall Guys was doing like Rocket League numbers, right, where like concurrent players, I think it'd be something to bring in. It's like, hey, let's bring in even more people or get something to get you excited about. This is trying to get people back into it, trying to get the hype back
Yeah.
up for it. So I think it would be more serviceable as a limited time mode rather than just like something permanent. And that way you have to tick a lot of people off later on by saying, oh, we have to get rid of it because no one's playing it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think this is something, if they're going to do it, they need to really push it. And, like, look at Halo. Everybody is
Yeah.
clamoring for Forge to get introduced. Everybody
Right.
wants Forge because they have always handled Forge really well and allowed everyone to really create and be a part of it. And that's actually kept the longevity of a lot of the Halo games. Look at
Yeah.
Halo 3. Like, they just shut down servers recently for Halo 3. Halo Reach had it as well. Like,
Yeah.
those games, like, the community kept it alive. And
Yep.
maybe this is a thing that Fall Guys really needs because, like I said, Among Us killed this game pretty much. Is this the thing that actually like makes it come back? So only time will
Right.
tell. Only time will tell.
You know, what would be
Uh,
terrible would be like on the same day, because we haven't heard anything from Among Us in a while, because they just put out the physical editions, like of all the special editions and whatnot.
mhm.
Um, More recently, it would be terrible if Fall Guys, like the day they went free to play on other platforms, Among Us just come out. It's like, we have a new map and we're also doing our level creator mode, and it's just like, bro, y'all
Yeah,
can't win.
yeah. I definitely. Oof, that would be rough. That would be rough. Let's take a comment real quick. Cody says, I love games with near impossible levels. I spent hours on the impossible game, Crash Bandicoot bonus hard levels, etc. And like some things like I would spend more time on. I played Mario Maker 2, and that
Yeah,
game is difficult. That game is like super
yeah,
difficult. So I'm not sure how this is all going to work out and everything, but hey, more power to them. And then
yep,
Cody also said limited time with community vote to make a couple levels permanent would be cool. That would be dope.
that would actually be cool. Then, yeah,
Like having where it's like, okay, this community member made such an amazing
yeah,
one. Okay, you pick a few and like have like kind of like a battle royale,
yeah,
of levels, and it's like, okay, we're gonna pick two and make them permanent maps, and we're going to polish everything, make everything work really well, give it its own theme or whatever, and like it will be part of the game, and we're going
yeah.
to,
That would be great.
reward the people that made the levels. That would be
Mm-hmm.
super dope.
Yep.
Yeah. And Dan says, and that one level, one super hard bridge level from Crash 1. Don't even get me started on that one. Don't even get me started on that one. Speaking of old games
Yeah.
that won't die,
Mm.
Silent Hill 2 remake is reportedly in development at Bloober Team.
Yeah, this is a Silent Hill's little news section here. So the first one is, according to this post, the Silent Hill 2 remake will feature revamped puzzles, new endings, and could be a timed PlayStation console exclusive. In addition to that, Nate the Hate has also heard via sources that there are multiple Silent Hill projects in the pipeline, including a mainline entry in side stories. This ties into what I've heard in the past from both VGC and Gamatsu, hearing that more than one entry in Konami's psychological horror franchise are in development. But a sidebar, Bloober Team CEO won't comment on rumors of a Silent Hill 2 remake from the studio. And most times than not, when you see no comment, it's probably true. But we'll get into we'll get into the other rumors here in just a minute. But yeah, Zach, what do you? It's weird that they're doing a remake of 2 and not 1. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
probably because 2 was more of the popular one, but
Mhm.
it's also probably testing the water, just like 2 was the best one or one of the better ones. Let's see if people really want this franchise coming back.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I was like, did they do an update on 1 already? But apparently not.
Right.
I see this like them taking a note from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
you know, doing remakes and all of that. Do you think that this will kind of reinvigorate the fan base for Silent Hills to get Silent Hill 2? Like, it's going to get more stuff, just like they did with Resident Evil 2. Like, they did some remakes before RE2 that did
Yeah.
okay, but
Yeah.
RE2 was the one that like set people off, because I think that was like one of the biggest fan favorites other than 4.
Yep. 100%. I do, because you can see the clamoring never went away, because when we got when Kojima was on it, the Silent Hills with Norman Reedus, everyone freaked out because it's like, oh my gosh, we're hyped for this. And then, it went away, and ever since these rumors have picked up about, oh, Silent Hill may be coming back, or Sony's going to buy some of the Konami IPs, people are like, Silent Hill, please bring back Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when last year that whole controversy was, what was it, Blue Box Studios or whatever, on that the Hill, like that little horror game they were doing like in the woods, and everyone's like, oh, is this Silent Hill, is this Kojima or whatever, is Kojima back on it? And there was like all this controversy surrounding it, whether it was or not. The ravenous I shouldn't say ravenous, but the hype and want is there for Silent Hill, so I think it would do well. Now, will it do Resident Evil remake numbers? We'll have to see if it's true or not, especially considering what other these projects they have in the works that we'll talk about here in just a moment. But I think the want is there for sure.
Yeah. And I think with Resident Evil, because like they had such strong showing with 7, like that really helped the remakes. So maybe this is kind of the back doorway of the remakes helping the potential new game. So let's go to the rumor. New Silent Hill sequel in the works alongside a smaller episodic based game.
So according to VGC's sources, there are 2 other projects in the pipeline outside of the alleged remake. One of them is a series of short stories, of which Supermassive Games, the studio behind Until Dawn, were involved in at one point before switching to the Dark Pictures franchise. Interesting little tidbit I never heard. However, it has been suggested that Annapurna Interactive is involved in the Side Stories project, although the source made it clear that a number of studios were involved in pitching the game. Beyond that, the site had also heard that a full-fledged Silent Hill game is in development, which is believed to be in the works at a Japanese-based studio. Furthermore, the images leaked last week reportedly pertain to a PT-style teaser known as Sakura, which will reportedly be released digitally as a free download. The episodic one that's in the style of like an Until Dawn Dark Pictures thing is interesting, because we've seen this in granted, Dark Pictures, like each entry is its own game, but it's an anthology of stories. We don't really like the episodic genre came and went. It was at its apex with Telltale, then it kind of died off. Now it's trying to make not a resurgence, but like a remake type of thing, where it's like, let's do it better. Let's do it differently. Let's have a better plan of action than just churning out stuff and just hoping people take a hold of it.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and the horror genre is easiest to do with the jump scares and the choices. We saw it with Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures. I think I'd almost argue that that'll be like a sleeper hit if it's done right. But it's what are your thoughts on it?
Like, with episodic, it's really difficult. And guys, you can vote in a poll right now. Are you excited for the new Silent Hills? Let us know what you think. It's difficult because episodic, you have to be on top of the ball.
Yes.
Thinking back on, Life is Strange, on Old Telltale, like it was all the time, like episodes was come out and it'd be months and months before you got the next episode.
Life is Strange 2 was the most egregious one.
Yeah. So it's like you have to be really careful about that. If you're going to do episodic, release them all at the same time. You don't have to piece them out, just release them all at the same time. It still can be quote unquote episodic. Like, don't try to like hedge your bets with, oh well, we'll get it. We'll get it done. It's like, no, just get it all done and then release it. So for me, like it's one of those, it might go well, it might not, with the bigger game, the new one in the series or whatever. It's I feel like they're doing the opposite of what Resident Evil did, where they're trying to use the remakes to get everyone excited again for a new one. Because I know a lot of those images was like floating around the last week of Sakura or whatever,
Yeah.
and like people seemed excited and everything, but it's like, are we going to get burnt again like we did with PT? I think
Right.
that's what a lot of people are doing. So my question here, Derek, my question for you is: Konami trying to make themselves more valuable by trying to update their portfolio to make them more suitable to sell?
I think, yeah, I was gonna say up until that last part, I was gonna say please say for sale, because that's the only reason they're only doing it, because they make pachinko machines and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and they make a killing off of those to this day. So I think they are planning to do like a Square Enix type of thing where it's like, hey, we're gonna offload some of this IP to people,
Hmm.
and it's interesting because PlayStation has been linked to a lot of their IP, like mainly Silent Hill and Metal Gear,
Yep.
for over the last year. And this being in the rumor in the first article we talked about with this, it's like, oh, the remake for 2 is supposed to be a PlayStation timed exclusive. So it would
Hmm.
make sense for that to happen, because I mean, what was Silent Hills showcased on during a PlayStation E3 showcase?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I think they are trying to get ready to get sold, sell some stuff off like the Square Enix thing. We didn't have a show that week, but it was interesting that they offloaded a lot of the American
Western
side of
IP.
things. Yeah, the Western
Yeah.
IPs and everything. My last thing, it was kind of a statement or whatever. Having multiple games rumored in development is a tactic that a lot of companies are doing right now.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like Konami is trying to get the good out of the franchises. So I
Yeah.
think we're going to see Silent Hills, we're clearly talking about right now. We're going to see a
Yeah.
lot of Silent Hills. We're going to see Castlevania come back. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
Castlevania will come back, and hopefully it will be good and not the poor iterations that we saw recently. And I
Yeah.
think, if they really want to make a statement that they're like ready to sell and that, like the IPs are in a good place, they've got to get Metal Gear, a good game out of Metal Gear, to really say this is worth buying. That you don't need
What are you talking about? Survive is good. Kidding.
Kojima to make a Metal Gear game. You've got to say that to somebody that's buying. It's like, it's not, you don't have to have the visionary to get this, make this game work. That's
Yeah.
the hardest thing to do, though, is to make that happen. Same thing with Castlevania. Like, they have not made a good game since the
No.
visionary left. So, you know,
Yeah, Lords of Shadow 1 and 2 tried to be too much like God of War and did not pan out.
yeah. So, uh, interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes from here. And what they're able to do. Is it going to be a flop? Are they going to, uh, sell it short? Like Konami usually does, is like kind of just cut their legs
Yeah.
out from under them. Like only time will tell. But we've got more to talk about because we got some PlayStation news. And I know there's a lot of people here ready to talk about God of War Ragnarok. But before we do that, we got some PlayStation Plus updates. First up, the new PlayStation Plus games lineup has been revealed.
And it's a lot of them. Confirmed in a blog post, there are now 56 PS4 and PS5 titles confirmed for the $100 a year extra tier or the $120 a year premium tier. The premium tier also has 29 classic game catalogs confirmed and another 29 PS3 games. Sony has also announced that, quote, time-limited game trials will be available on the premium tier that allow users to sample games including Horizon Forbidden West, Cyberpunk 2077, and WWE 2K22 for a few hours at no extra cost. These lists are just a, quote, selection of the content coming to the new tiers, as Sony previously confirmed more than 700 games would be available when it announced the updated service back in March. Further PS4 games are also arriving through the classic games catalog, as Sony has placed remasters and collections in the same category as retro games. The final list of games that Sony announced as its original PS3 games collection that is only available via streaming through PS4, PS5, and PC, and therefore only available in regions that support cloud streaming. Um, Let me go through some of this list. Well, first, let me finish it. These include the US, Canada, Japan, UK, France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Austria, Switzerland, Ireland, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and Sweden. Sony confirmed an extension of cloud streaming services would arrive in June. However, giving the following countries access to the original PS3 game collection would include Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Greece, Hungary, Malta, Poland, Republic of Cyprus, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia. So let's go through this list real quick, and I have to. It's not all 700 games; it's the 56 games that were talked about. Now, first off is the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tier PS4 and PS5 games. We have Alien Nation, Ashen, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Bloodborne, Celeste, Cities Skylines, Concrete Genie, Control Ultimate Edition on both PS4 and PS5. Assassin's Creed is also on PS4 and PS5. The game we don't talk about, Dead Cells, Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition, Death Stranding and the Director's Cut, Demon Souls, Destruction All-Stars, Everybody's Golf, Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut on both PS4 and PS5, God of War, Gravity Rush 2, Gravity Rush Remastered, Hollow Knight, Horizon Zero Dawn, Infamous First Light, Infamous Second Son, Knack, Little Big Planet 3, Loco Roco 2 Remastered, Loco Roco Remastered, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy on both PS4 and PS5, Marvel Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales on both PS4 and PS5, Matterfall, Medieval, Mortal Kombat 11 on both of them, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, NBA 2K22, Outer Wilds, Patapon 2 Remastered, Patapon Remastered, Red Dead Redemption 2, Resident Evil, Resogun, Returnal, Shadow of the Colossus, Soul Calibur 6, Tearaway Unfolded, The Artful Escape, The Crew 2, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, The Last of Us Left Behind, Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Uncharted The Lost Legacy, Until Dawn, Wipeout Omega Collection. That's for that first list there, that's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
Then going to the premium tier classic games catalog, you get Ape Escape, Ape Escape 2, Ark the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits, Baja Edge of Control HD, BioShock Remastered, Borderlands The Handsome Collection, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, Dark Cloud 1 and 2, Fantavision, Hot Shots Golf, Hot Shots Tennis, IQ Intelligent Cube, Jack 3, Jak and Daxter The Precursor Legacy, Jak 2, Jak X Combat Racing, Jumping Flash, Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, Lego Harry Potter Collection, Mr. Driller, Rogue Galaxy, Siren, Super Stardust Portable, Siphon Filter, Tekken 2, Wild Arms 3, Worms Armageddon, and Worms World Party. And then finally, the PS3 games, we got Asura's Wrath, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, Crash Commando, Demon's Souls, Devil May Cry HD Collection, Echo Chrome, Enslaved Odyssey to the West, Fear, Hot Shots Golf Out of Bounds, Hot Shots Golf World Invitational, Ico, Infamous, Infamous 2, Infamous Festival of Blood, Loco Roco Correccio, Lost Planet 2, Motorstorm Apocalypse, Motorstorm RC, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, Puppeteer, Rain, Ratchet and Clank A Crack in Time, Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus, Ratchet and Clank Quest for Booty, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, Resistance 3, Super Stardust HD, Tokyo Jungle, and When Vikings Attack. That first and last list had some real bangers on there. The retro list has Ape Escape and then collections and some okay things in there, not the first and last are definitely bangers.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to point out Gravity Rush.
Yeah.
And Gravity Rush Remastered. Yeah, Derek, did you ever play Gravity Rush?
No, I did not.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because you're a scrub, because you didn't have a PlayStation Vita.
Whatever. I have it on the PlayStation 4.
That doesn't count. Gravity Rush was on the Vita first, and Gravity Rush is great. Patapon and Patapon 2 as well. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And you want to know why? You want to know something? A lot of those Vita games that were great, just like with the Wii U, got ported to a real console that sold well because PlayStation actually believed in it.
Derek's breaking up, guys. We're gonna have to mute him.
But finishing out this article real quick, The time-limited game trials available through the premium tier lets players download and sample a game before buying it. Sony said most games will be available for 2 hours, but shows that Horizon Forbidden West will be available for 3, perhaps suggesting that PlayStation Studio games will be available for slightly longer than third-party titles. I think it'll be more of how massive the game is, because that's a massive open world game, so they want to give you a little bit more time with it. The only first-party games at launch will be Horizon Forbidden West and Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. However, while there will be 4 third-party offerings, such as Cyberpunk 2077, Farming Simulator 2022, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and WWE 2K22.
So there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games, Derek.
A lot of things happening.
Yeah, a lot of things. Do you think adding PS3 games to the list makes the $120 price point more palatable?
I think it does, especially because of that initial list. Like I said, that list of PS3 games were a lot of bangers on there. I think that's what, that's how Game Pass has been so successful. Like, yeah, there's a lot of mundane things and a lot of stuff the general gamer won't care for. But you have to start off strong and give them a reason to come and invest in your idea. So I think adding PS3 games, like PS2 would have been like the cherry on top, but I think just like Xbox Game Pass, they'll do that at a later time, like where they started with Xbox One, and then added 360 games on there and then moved to original Xbox. I think Sony will have that same thing where it's like, all right, we have up to PS3, but then about a year from now we'll add PS2 and then PS1 games.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time, and if it's as successful and takes off like they want it to. But yeah, definitely I mean, obviously when you're paying that kind of money, you have to have some type of incentive to get people to buy in.
Yeah, I agree. That it's a hefty price. I think they need to do more with the cross platform, like going to PC, kind of like how Xbox Games Ultimate, Game Pass Ultimate is and everything, to really make that price worth it. Was Resistance on that list at all?
Oh, let me pull it back up because I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's one of the egregious things. Like,
yeah, you want to know why? Because the controllers suck.
Resistance 3 is on there, but not 1 or 2.
Yeah, because the controls sucked. So flighty and loose. My gosh. Derek likes Resistance, guys.
The story, but I agree with you on the controls for sure.
Man, like I tried to play it because it was an interesting game. I'll give you that. Story was interesting, but man, those controls were just. Oof.
Uncharted was that same way as well on the PS3, and then when it got on PS4, it got a lot better.
Oh yeah, like the Nathan Drake collection is the only way to play Uncharted.
Yeah,
like, don't go back and play the PS3 versions because oof. Okay, time trials becoming to more games, even third parties, as we've seen here. We talked about it a few weeks ago as well. Does this make it better for you, Derek, to be able to try something before you buy it? Because I know we talk about games a lot here, Derek. We talk about a lot of stuff, but you don't know always if this game is going to be a lemon. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love that Cyberpunk 2077's on there.
Right, exactly. It's like, and it's ironic because it's on PlayStations. Like that thing ran ugly on PS4. Like, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Especially if at a base PS4. But I do think it. I mean, it's like I talked about last time. The trials are definitely a godsend because in the age, especially now with how things are going on right now, things getting more pricey. Yet you gotta pinch pennies where you can, and you don't want to spend a $60 game and hate it, and then be like try to like wrestle a bear to try and get your money back.
Yeah.
Because Sony, I mean, granted, all of them to an extent are kind of like, especially if you purchase digitally. Like if you buy it from a retail store, that's a whole nother entity to deal with, depending on who you get. But like trying to buy digital, it's like you played more than 2 hours, you bought it more than 2 weeks ago. Sorry, you can't do anything. You're stuck with it, Johnny.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good way to kind of solve the like creating demos and everything. And PlayStation said that they're going to be taking on this. So like we talked a lot about this, like not the last episode because that was Horizon, but if you want to hear all that conversation, go to the second to last episode and check it out and everything. But PlayStation Plus is looking better and better, but we got something to add to it, Derek. This was very interesting. Ubisoft Plus coming to new
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus service.
Ubisoft Plus will first be available on PlayStation in the form of Ubisoft Plus. Classic Ubisoft Plus Classics, which comes bundled with PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers. This version of Ubisoft Plus features a curated selection of popular games, 27 available at launch, that will include Assassin's Creed Valhalla, The Division, and For Honor. Ubisoft Classics will be available from when the new version of PlayStation Plus launches, which will be June 13th in America and June 23rd in Europe. Other games coming in the first 27 include Child of Light, which I know you're high on, Zach. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, Far Cry 4, Thief, South Park: The Fractured But Whole, The Crew 2, Trials Rising, Watch Dogs, and Werewolves Within, which is a terrible VR game, but whatever. Ubisoft promises the Classics collection will grow to more than 50 games by the end of 2022, and that there are, quote, more games planned in the future. Furthermore, Ubisoft announced that the full version of Ubisoft Plus, which includes more than 100 games, day one releases, and premium editions of some games, is coming to PlayStation and Xbox consoles. No date was offered for either console, aside from the promise that the service, quote, ultimately will be available on PlayStation and Xbox. Currently, Ubisoft Plus is only available on PC, Stadia, and Amazon's Luna service.
So for me, Derek, this makes me like, okay, I like Ubisoft. Ubisoft makes some
Yeah.
games, good games and everything.
They've been falling off though the last couple of years, but
They have. So Ubisoft Plus as a service, okay, I just looked it up. PC only access is $14.99. Okay.
yeah.
Multi access, which includes Luna and Stadia, is $17.99. So $14.99. You get all of it day one, all that good stuff. I think this is a good way to get people interested in Ubisoft Plus.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me of EA, how EA got on to Xbox Game Pass, and this is a good way for them to get on the ground floor of this new version of PS Plus.
Yeah.
Derek, do you think this will make more people want to get the full version when it's on consoles?
I mean, how about this? Like, obviously, we don't have the full list of 27 games that'll be there at launch, right? But it kind of gives an amalgam of all of the types of games that Ubisoft has done to show them what the company is. How about this? The full version, yes, when it eventually lands. Now, my question is like, it'll land, but how much more extra will you like? Okay, it'll come to both Xbox and PlayStation consoles, right? And it'll be Ubisoft, and this version launching with the revamped PlayStation Plus is Ubisoft Plus Classics. So when the full Ubisoft Plus version launches, will it be included in the PlayStation Plus tiers and the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, or will you have to pay extra, or will it be a separate entity that you have to charge for? I don't know, something as big as Ubisoft trying to integrate it for no extra charge into Game Pass and PlayStation Plus is a powder keg, because it could go either way. Like, would it be great? Yes. For no extra charge and I get to play all the Ubisoft games? Absolutely, it'd be a great steal.
Oh yeah.
But I also think Ubisoft wants to make money on their end as well, and are like, well, we kind of want to have our own, and like not be a part of anything. Like, we'll give you like a trial version, but if you want the full thing, you have to buy from us. So
yeah,
I don't know, because it like you were talking about with EA Access. EA Access is a part of Game Pass.
Yeah.
Nowhere in sight for this PlayStation Plus premium tier. So we'll have to see. But then again, EA and Xbox has always had that partnership. Ubisoft, while they've had more of a better partnership with PlayStation over the years, they still want to be their own entity. Like, they're like, hey, PlayStation, we'll hold your hand, but we'll never marry you.
Well, and even with like EA, like, you get EA Access, but it's different than EA Origin, where you get day and day, like day one games on the EA Access. You're getting not the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting stuff that's kind of filtered through and all of that. So I think they're going to kind of play it the same way, where it's like, if you want EA EA Origin or whatever, like you
Yeah.
would have to have that service. And with, Ubisoft Plus, I love everybody's doing Plus. Like
Yeah,
PlayStation did it
exactly.
way before Disney, but anyway, I digress. Um, like 14.99 is not that much. Like you get a
No.
ton. I'm looking through all the stuff. Riders Republic. I
And
totally
if
forgot
it's
about
only
that
like
game.
$3, like going back to how it is now, right? Structured, like it's only 15 for PC, and then if you want the other versions, it's $3 more. If
Mhm.
they did that where it's like, hey, you can buy the PlayStation or Xbox version for 15, or you can pay 18 and get all versions, that would be great too. Or even if they raise it to $20 because they're adding a couple more consoles, that even works for me too. Like $20 across any
Yep.
console for 100 plus games and more day one releases, that's a steal.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that would be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
That would be the best way to do it. But guys, we're going to get into the subject of tonight. We're going to get into the subject that me and Derek care so much about, because it's not just that the game's coming out, guys, this year.
It's because
It's
Zach
not
has a
just,
bet riding on it.
you got to bet too, son. You got to bet too. God of War Ragnarok accessibility features detailed in a new blog post.
So the blog post highlights a selection of the upcoming game's 60 plus accessibility options designed to suit players' needs, ranging from subtitle and caption improvements to text and icon size and more. Not only have we redesigned our UI to allow for more flexibility and readability, but we have also rebuilt controller remapping from the ground up and added more customization to our combat and interaction systems. Pavlin writes in the new blog post, we have retained all of our accessibility features from 2018's God of War and expanded upon them to include more than 60 ways to adjust gameplay to best suit your style and needs. There, and for full disclosure, normally because they have a laundry list of things for their accessibility things with all descriptions. How I did it was I just did the highlights. You can the full blog post. I know I got this from Game Informer, uh, on their site, so you can go there and read the full list and like the breakdowns of each accessibility options. I'll just give you the highlights here. So there are 4 returning accessibility features from the PC version of God of War coming to Ragnarok, which will be Sprint Auto Sprint, Persistent Dot, which is always on reticle, Aim Style, and Block Style. The following are accessibility features new to God of War Ragnarok: subtitle and caption improvements, text and icon size, controller remapping, high contrast mode. Additional accessibility features will include navigation assist, travel assistance, assistance plus, audio cues, and audio cues. And it goes on to quote, we are committed to improving accessibility and customization for everyone. We can't wait to tell you details about our other categories of accessibility features like combat slash aim assists, puzzle slash minigame assists, HUD adjustments, camera tuning, auto pickup, and much more. We are so thankful for all the support from the accessibility consultants and the greater accessibility community for sharing their thoughts to make God of War Ragnarok the most accessible God of War ever. We can't wait to share more with you as we get closer to launch. So this is, I'm surprised they went ahead and put this out, which means that we are probably closer to the fact that it will be launching this year. But I'm surprised because usually, like now, granted, accessibility over the last year and a half has become more prevalent.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even I know it came out last week, but we talked about Horizon Forbidden
Mhm.
West, but Deathloop finally added an update with accessibility features. So after,
Yep.
even though it took them half a year to get there, they finally added accessibility
Mhm.
features to their game as well. And everyone gets a laundry list of things, and it's usually around the time either the game is about to launch or after it launches. But it's the
Mhm.
first time that I can remember that the game doesn't even have a release date, and they're already talking about accessibility features. But a lot of good stuff, a lot of the
Yeah.
same, like what we'll come to expect. But I'm glad that they're keeping stuff that was popular from the 2018 game and bringing it into this one as well.
Yeah, and even the stuff that they put on the version of the PC version and everything. I think that's
Yeah,
great. Great to see, like I love that, more people are being able to enjoy these stories, enjoy the games that, a lot more people are getting to play. Uh it's always nice to see, and you kind of stole my thunder on this one, Derek, but this does seem like a small tease that the game is getting closer to being announced. The date's going to be announced.
yeah,
Especially if they're talking about these kind of details. Like I know, like you said, accessibility and everything has become a very large topic, a very
Mhm.
big topic that is within the industry and everything. But it is definitely something that you don't see unless we're getting really, really close. And then the last
Exactly.
thing, I like to get a regular hamburger, mayonnaise and ketchup only, large drink, and a large fry for myself. So just letting you know that's my order for Five Guys.
Well, look, when we go there, you can order yourself, and all I have to do is swipe my card. That's all I'm there for. You can
I,
put your own order in, sir.
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of feel like that's like even
No,
more.
no, no,
It's
no, no. We already made the vote. We're not doing any addendums. No, thank you.
oh well, it'll be good to spend your money. It'll be good
Yeah.
to spend your money on my hamburger. You know, mm. I know the
Like
perfect
you,
time to go as well. I know the perfect time to
right.
go.
Well, if it, yeah, I mean, whenever, I mean, as long as it's before holiday season, we're good. You know what I mean?
No,
Because
I'm
then I
talking
could
about
actually,
the perfect time of day is like around like 3:45 is the perfect
yeah,
time of
that's
day
true.
to
I remember
go.
you saying that.
So,
Um,
uh,
what you should do, like, you could definitely do a power trip if you wanted to, and be like, get like an extra large fry and like add like 5, 6 patties on there, and just be like, not going to eat all this. I'm just gonna, like, I know you wouldn't because you love Five Guys too much, but it's like, can't eat all this. Might as well throw it away. I'm just gonna throw away
uh,
your money, Derek, as like an ultimate power move.
no, not gonna do that. B says, "Be a gentleman and order the man's food."
Well played, B.
B's
Well
got it
played.
right.
I'll give you that one.
B's got it. B's got it. Oh man, I cannot wait, guys. But that is so far away. But you know what's right around the corner? The PlayStation Quickies.
So to start off, we finally have a release date for the rest of the PS5 covers that was announced beginning of the year. The Starlight Blue, Galactic Purple, and Nova Pink will release on June 17th in US, UK, France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. PlayStation is the latest platform to join Fortnite's shared wallet feature. CodeSync is developing a PSVR 2 launch title and is possibly related to Jurassic World. Bungie acquisition is a quote major step forward in becoming more multi-platform, says Sony CEO. Forspoken PS5 load times will barely last 1 second. But please don't say, "Oh, we want to add tips in the load screens," but so we had to delay it a little bit. Please don't use that trope. Just keep to it. We don't care about tips anymore, especially Zach. Spider-Man 2 promotes Lindsay Thompson and James Ham to lead animators for the PS5 sequel. Marvel's Wolverine names Spec Ops the Line Writer as narrative director. The Last of Us remake reportedly hitting PS5 in holiday of 2022. And lastly, Star Wars KOTOR remake PS5 news is dropping in the quote next several months.
Some good stuff in that PS Quickies right there, PlayStation Quickies. The Wolverine game getting the Spec Ops, the Line Rider,
that was
man,
huge.
that thing is going to be dark
Serious.
and
Yeah,
gritty.
yeah, it'll be dark. But
Like,
I mean, the way they
that
kind of
excites
portrayed
me,
Wolverine, the way they kind of portrayed Wolverine over the last decade in media has been dark, so it's kind of on brand.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's that like that excites me a lot. Then KOTOR getting some news in the next several months means we might be getting a pretty big old PlayStation
Yeah,
conference
direct.
thing. Yeah, direct. I couldn't remember what it was called. PlayStation Direct.
Either a direct, because PlayStation likes to have their Nintendo Direct, and then their focus one on like one game, like they did one for Hogwarts Legacy a few months ago.
Yeah.
So I could see that, but I could also see like a PlayStation conference, because we have yet to get one. Like, where is it? What you doing, Sony?
Yeah, I announced that.
Well,
God of War
especially
game.
like with the one above it, where it's like Last of Us remake is scheduled for supposedly holiday this year. Like, it's about the time where they get off the pot and tell us some things.
Like, I don't know if I don't know. Like PS5 is kind of thin on games, so it's like, okay, maybe a remake. Usually they wouldn't put like God of War in September and then a game like right after that.
Yeah,
that's bigger, but it's a remake, so maybe that's not as big of a deal. I don't know.
But how great would it be in a year where we get a sequel to Horizon, a sequel to God of War, and then a remake of a dark, gritty, and Naughty Dog game? Like, like from the ground up for like PS5. Like even, and I know we've talked about it seems too soon for that, but still, the fact that we would get 3 major franchise bangers in the same year would be crazy.
Yeah, I still need to play Last of Us 2, but that's neither
Yeah,
here nor there. Neither here nor there. Because guys, I'm ready for the quick hits. I hope you are too.
and we got a lot of them. So strap in. First off, Funcom job listing describes Dune as a quote next gen open world survival game, and apparently not Spice Wars. It's apparently a new Dune game they're working on. Rumor, another Star Wars thing for you, Zach. Jedi Fallen Order sequel. It will be titled Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Motive Studios says Dead Space remake to launch in January of 2023. Yet we still haven't seen anything but concept art. It's mind boggling. Alan Wake Remastered is heading to Switch. Alan Wake TV show is in the works with AMC Studios. Epic Games Publishing has yet to recoup Alan Wake Remastered dev and marketing costs, though. However, Alan Wake 2 is also targeting 2023 release, with Max Payne remakes and Control spinoff targeting to be out by 2025. Geese Howard, Billy Kane, and Ryuji Yamazaki have joined the King of Fighters 15 roster as the next DLC wave. Fist, forged in Shadowtech, the one with the bunny with the large mechanical arm, is getting a physical release in Q3 of 2022. Mario Strikers Battle League features put on display a new overview trailer. Pokemon Home to add support for Legends Arceus, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl soon. Some Final Fantasy news. Final Fantasy 35th anniversary news is coming soon, says Square Enix. Final Fantasy VII Remake director says Square Enix will share FF7 news next month, probably at Summer Games Fest. Final Fantasy 15 has topped 10 million sales. Final Fantasy 16 combat video reveals a lot of similarities to Devil May Cry 5. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl adds Hugh Neutron, Jenny, and Rocco to the lineup. It's not the only fighting game we'll talk about in this list. Multiverses open beta starts July, with closed alpha starting today, and Velma the Iron Giant and Taz the Tasmanian Tiger revealed as playable characters. Marvel's Midnight Suns new rating suggests a release date is imminent. Dying Light 2 lead developer says Dying Light 3 should make players feel more powerful. Techland is working on a AAA open-world fantasy RPG with ex-CD Projekt Red staff. Sega to release multiple remasters, remakes, and new titles by the end of March 2023. It's a lot of planning to do over the next 8 months. Rumor, Mafia 4 to take place in Sicily and will focus on Don Salieri's family. Some Take-Two news. Take-Two, quote, likes being an independent organization amid increased gaming acquisition. Take-Two will release over 30 games by 2025, including new ports and remasters. Take-Two won't comment on possible FIFA partnership and says it has a, quote, great brand and incredible clout. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and WWE 2K22 have surpassed Take-Two's expectations. Speaking of WWE, the new update for 2K22 adds new superstars such as the 2020 version of Alexa Bliss, Shinsuke Nakamura, King Booker, King Corbin, Dominic Yakovich, Nikki Cross, and 2018 Shawn Michaels. Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold 44 million units globally. Gearbox has 9 AAA games in development as Embracer continues to grow. Steam Deck is slowly but surely adding Windows support. RoboCop has been added to Fortnite, with Ali A joining the Icon series. Call of Duty Warzone 2 will reportedly be more similar to Blackout than the original Warzone. One to keep an eye out here. 5% of Nintendo is now owned by Saudi Arabia. Shades of Vivendi taking over Ubisoft, so like I said, keep an eye on that. DICE is removing the 128-player version of Battlefield 2042's Breakthrough Mode. Following that, Battlefield 2042 Season 1 is on track for early June this year. I forgot they were doing seasons, so I don't know how to feel about that one. Greedfall 2 officially announced for 2024 on PC and consoles. Murdoch, this one is official now. I know you talked about it last week. Kerbal Space Program 2 has been officially delayed till 2023. And finally, Roller Champions, Ubisoft's free-to-play roller derby title, is launching May 25th.
Ubisoft puts out weird action
Right.
sports games. Like you had Steep, You had Riders Republic. Now you got this thing. It's just like
Trials.
Trials. Like it's just like I don't know what you're doing over there. I don't know what you're doing. Like did they do that ATV versus like motocross
No, that
games, or
was
was that Activision?
THQ.
Okay, THQ. My takeaways, Derek, from the Quick Hicks. Jedi Fallen Order. My gosh, can they just show us something at this point? I love the rumors, but I just want to see something.
Well, supposedly it was supposed to be announced in spring before like a June showcase before they inevitably canceled it. So maybe next week, surprise. I don't know.
Interesting title. Star Wars Jedi Survive. No Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Like
well, it's
semicolon.
Jedi : something. So Fallen Order, I think, is just part 1. So it's a Jedi.
Gotcha.
I guess the series is called Jedi, but yeah, the way it's
now,
like.
Yeah. Well, now that Vader knows that they're alive, it's going to ramp up from here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it is all about survival.
Order 66 part 2.
Yeah. Marvel's Midnight Suns, like we just got that announced like not too long ago. I think it was Game Awards. We got Midnight Suns announcement somewhere around there.
It was last year for sure. Yeah, because it was supposed to be March and then got delayed.
Yeah, like that it might come out soon. That's interesting. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
How I feel about that. Maybe it's like a lot further on than what we think.
Or maybe we'll get the release announcement soon. I don't know.
Maybe. Like I'm fine with that. Well, I just don't want something that's like bad.
Yeah.
To Dan's comments, can't wait for Final Fantasy 7 Part 2. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy 7 Part 1, which was pretty good. I just never got into Final Fantasy. I don't know, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then Jenny XJ9 doesn't look like she was meant for 3D to me. Talking about the Battle Royale. I got into the alpha. Like I have no idea how to get my code to play multiverses. Like I got in and I'm like, where's my code? So hopefully I'll be able to get to play and be able to give you some feedback on that. And the last two things. Battlefield 2042. My God. I would hate to be a person that looked forward to this game. I would like June 2022. Murdoch. Murdoch, I feel bad for him because like not only did Battlefield, but the new what was that? Rainbow Six, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Extraction,
like all of that, like just not good. That's just not good because it failed from the start. Exactly. But like I play Halo. Everybody knows I play Halo. I love Halo. Like Halo might have its issues and the seasons might be long, but Lord,
at least it's playable.
At least it's playable, and at least the season started when the game came out. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, because I forgot that they were doing seasons. Because I know we talked about months ago that they were thinking about going to free to play, and nothing's ever come from that. But it's like, all right, over half a year from when the game launched, we're finally going to start our seasons. It's like, who's going to play?
Who's still playing at this point? And then Murdoch getting just punched while he's down here, and then Kerbal Space Program 2 getting delayed. Nate, we did look forward to Halo, and look what that got us. At least like majority of the game is like super playable. It's super smooth, but there are still issues. But at least Halo is like way better than Battlefield 2042. If it would have been that bad, like I think I would have cried on stream. 100%.
You wouldn't be you wouldn't be Diamonds. What was it?
I got the Diamond one last season.
Yeah.
So I'm still in re-ranking. I haven't finished all of that. Oh. You dropped some Skull and Bones bad news. I'm gonna come at you, bro. Well, that's when we cut tonight, but it's confirmed that Skull and Bones is never coming out.
No, it's how about this? I didn't put it in there because I didn't see enough of it to feel confident in posting this in Quickies, but supposedly there's a rumor going around that Skull and Bones is getting rated too, which means we could get a new release date because Ubisoft said Skull and Bones, Roller Champions, and the Avatar game were all coming out before March of next year, before the end of March next year.
Dude, like not too long ago, we're like, yeah, Skull and Bones is like in proverbial development turmoil.
Hades.
Yeah, it's like I don't know that Harry Potter. Yeah, the Harry Potter game's coming out this year, and Gotham Knights dropped last gen.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah, so goodbye, last gen. I'm over here like, look at these peasants with their last gen consoles.
Sitting on top, like Scrooge McDuck sitting on top of your mountain of money.
Well, there you go, guys. There is the episode for you. Make sure to support us by going and subscribing and following on all the platforms that we're on: Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, all those good places. If you want to do so financially, you can go over to patreon.com/nerdcave and pick up a tier that works best for you. Check out our podcast version on the show. It's available on Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, and Anchor. It's been a great one, guys. It's been a great one. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure to share it with somebody that you know loves video games and you want them to be in the know. You don't want them to be ignorant. You don't want them to stay away from the light of knowledge.
Or if you just want to make a new friend and have something in common to talk about over lunch or dinner.
There you go. There you go. You can bring me to Five Guys any night, guys. Anytime. You're like, I want
that sounds like I don't have to uphold my bet as long as someone just pays for your Five Guys.
I didn't say that. I said you go and open that Five Guys, boy. Oh man, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna be like a mule eating briars. That's the most southern thing I can say. I'm gonna be like a mule eating briars, eating that hamburger. Man, I'm gonna be grinning ear to ear, eating them fries. Oh. But guys,
now the real twist would be like, would you be one of my horses that I'm leading to slaughter?
I don't know. Or maybe I'm a never mind. I'm not
no, don't go there. Don't go
there. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed the episode. This has been Zach.
And I don't even know. Let's say Zach.
I didn't put it in there. You're the snooty genie.
And the snooty genie.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye.